This is a full HD IPS digital photo frame that you can get on Amazon for $50. Let's take a look at it. What's up everybody, and welcome back to the Fayze Reviews YouTube channel. My name is Jordan, and today on the review table I have a digital photo frame from Amazon that, like I said, costs only $50. Now, usually I say the brand name, but this photo frame does not have a brand. This comes from China. It's one of a ton of different options on Amazon. It's one of the more highly rated ones. And after sifting through a lot of different photo frames that were available and looking at the reviews, this is the one I settled on, and I'm really glad that I did. It does everything that I wanted it to and more. It's really full featured, and for the price, I don't think you can beat this. Today in this video, we're of course gonna look at everything that comes in the box. I'm gonna take it out, show you the build quality, show you everything that comes with it and how it all hooks up, how you get your pictures onto here, and how you can adjust the different settings, and I'll give you a run through of all the different menus, and finally tell you my thoughts as to whether or not I think this is a good deal. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're not, consider subscribing, but we'll talk about that more at the end. I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's dive into talking about this digital photo frame. The first thing that we do on this channel is always take a look at the packaging. It says a lot about the company and about the product itself, and if a company puts a lot of effort into their packaging, sometimes that says that a lot about the product, and sometimes that money could have been better spent on features. Now, this packaging, as you can see, is pretty sparse. There's really not much here. It says digital photo frame, very generic and bland. A photograph tells a story. How magical. There's nothing on the back. There's nothing on the sides except for the words digital photo frame. So you would not probably see this in a store. You would probably be left wanting if you had to make a purchase like this without the benefit of online reviews and information. So luckily you have me to look at it and tell you about it. But looking at the packaging, it's good solid cardboard, but nothing flashy here. So let's open it up and take a look at what comes in the box. So letting that slide out. First and foremost, you have the frame itself over here. I've put it back in its plastic. I've already tested things, but I like to put them back so you can see as close as they were to when they arrived. And then on the right side, you've got the accessories, okay? They're sitting in this tray. So first of all, we'll take what comes with the frame out of the box. You've got your power lead. This is a DC power lead. We're looking at 5 volts, 2 amps on this guy, and it is 6 feet long. So you've got that. You have a little remote. And we'll go over this in more detail, but you can adjust functions of the frame with the remote without having to reach around the back and adjust them on the frame itself. And then you have this little plastic peg, which is the stand for the frame. This is one of the downsides of this frame. This is just a little very cheap piece of plastic that you screw in on one side of the back and it holds it up, but it works. I mean, as long as no one's bumping your frame, you know, you're not gonna really have to worry about that. If you wanna hang the frame on the wall, it has mounting options for that as well, but you're gonna have to deal with the power cord hanging down if it's on the wall. So I think that the table, you know, setting it on a table is the best option. Besides the accessories, you have the frame itself. It comes in this plastic. I'll take that out. It's very sleek looking. This is the 7-inch version. They do offer sizes 8-inch all the way up to, I believe, 15 is the largest one. Price increases as you go up as well, but it's very sleek looking and it feels really nice. No harsh edges. It looks well done. It's plastic, but it's got a good weight to it. Around the back, you will see that you've got your main button pad here. It's got a center button as well as 4 arrows on the sides. You've got your power button up ahead or up on top, and then you've got a menu button down here on the bottom. Also on the back, you can see this is where the little peg to stand it up will screw in. You just twist that in right there. And that's how you stand it up. It's just in that corner, but if I set it right here, I mean, it works. It's sturdy as long as no one's bumping it. You're gonna be fine with that. Like I said, you do have the option to hang it from the wall, and there is the little hole for that right there. The only other thing to look at on this frame would be this side right here, which is where you have all of your different connections. Let's see if I can get that in the light right there. That's kind of tough. But running through those, you have a SD card slot, you have a headphone jack because you can play video files or music off of this frame. You have a USB in for a USB stick or thumb drive. You also have a mini USB interface, as well as the power input. That's the only side with any connections on it. The other sides are blank. The only other thing that comes in the box would be the user manual, and just like the rest of the packaging, this is pretty plain and sparse, so you're kind of left to your own devices when you're setting this up. It's very intuitive, and I will give you a full walkthrough in this video so you can see how you operate the unit, but it does tell you what all the different buttons do and the different ports, but other than that, There's really not much going on in this manual besides some nice copyright infringements on the page. Look, I think that's from Up. So there you go. Let's clear off this table, bring the camera around, give you a top-down view, and I'll show you how you can get this frame set up and get using it right away. All right, so here is the frame up close. The first thing we're gonna do is power it on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this DC power supply and plug it into the side. And there's no power button because once you plug in the power supply, it will start to power up by itself like that. So it takes a little bit to boot up. And the first thing you're going to be greeted with is a menu. And we're going to come back to the menu because if you wanted to just set this photo frame up out of the box without touching any of the settings, that's totally possible. I have a little USB drive right here, and I'm just going to plug that in to the side of the frame like that. We'll give it a couple seconds to recognize it, and there, just like that, it's ready to go. Now, controlling the frame is done through this little control pad at the back, so you can navigate up, down, left, and right, and then select with the middle button. So it's already on USB, so if I just click that middle button, it will pull up the USB. I can slide it over to photo, which is what we're going to look at right now, but you do have the option to play back some movie files or music files, or just look at the file structure of your memory. So if we go over to the photos and hit enter, it's going to pull up the files that I have on the USB stick. I just have 3 on there right now, just random ones off my computer. If I scroll, pick one, hit enter, it will pull up that image. All right. Now, this may not come across on video, but the quality is just fantastic. Like I said, this is an IPS screen, full HD 1280 by 800 resolution. So this was shot, granted on a nice DSLR camera, but the image quality looks fantastic. You can see that it automatically switched over to the next picture. Look at who's that guy? That's me. One of the cool things about this frame, like I said, is that it's just plug and play. Once you get the stick in and click it a few times, you're good to go. You can see that the frame is just rotating through the different photos here. I selected the interval, and we're going to go through the menu in just a second, but you can adjust how long it spends on each picture, and you can also adjust how the pictures transition from one to another. So right now it's just a simple jump from one picture to the next, but there are 9 different effects that you can choose for the frame to utilize. As far as memory you can use with this guy, we know we can use a USB stick. You can also use an SD card, and you can use capacities up to 128 gigabytes. So tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of photos. Now make sure if you're using an SD card that it is a class 10. You do need a class 10 card with this frame. It should say on your card whether or not it is a class 10 or not. So this is kind of how it works. It's really that simple. It's just kind of on its little stand right now. It's just cycling through photos, and the quality is just stellar. Like I said, I had bought a frame a few years ago, and I thought digital frames were kind of gimmicky because the quality was just not there at all. Now this one has completely changed my mind. I would be very happy displaying one of these in my house. The quality looks amazing. The display has a nice matte finish, so whether you're looking at it from the side or the top or the bottom, there's not really much glare. You can see kind of a glare right here, but that's just because I have a really bright studio light on. You can see it right there. Really bright studio light, and we're kind of up close, but the glare is not very noticeable at all when you're looking at it with your eyes and not through the camera. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull out this USB stick, okay? And that should take us back to the main menu right here. So let's look at a few of the different options. Now, outside of displaying your media, it also has a few non-photo frame functions, such as a calendar, right? So you've got a calendar option. This is not set up to the current date because I'm not using it for a calendar, but you do have that, as well as a clock, and you can cycle through some photos right there on the side. You can also use this as an alarm clock, should you so desire. Now that we're on this function, if we want to back up to the menu, you just need to hit the menu button right here, and that will take you back to the top level menu. So let's slide over to setup and see a few of the things that we can adjust on this frame. So you can change your language. If you're not an English speaker, there are a few different options there. Slideshow time. Now it comes default on, let me slide this, I'm doing this backwards here, 3 seconds, which is way too short for me. So I bumped it up to 15, which seems like a nice interval, but you can do 3, 5, 10, 15 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. All right, so you have all those different options. I think 15 is a good interval for me personally. Slideshow down here, you can have the default effect, which would just be the jumping from picture to picture, and then you have other effects like blinds, which would be vertical, horizontal, sliding up, sliding down, slide left, slide right, and then a random assortment of those effects. I just keep it on the default. I don't need any effects, but you can do that. If you're playing music or movies, you can change if it repeats automatically, repeating just one file or a sequence of files. This is really handy. Let's say you wanted to use this for a business display, show a product or something of that nature. You could just pick a file and just set it on repeat, and the frame would just keep playing your commercial or your product information video, which I think is really handy. Same with photo repeat. You can set a specific sequence or just have it repeat everything or randomly cycle through your photos. Autoplay sets what default media starts when you plug in a USB stick or SD card, so you can have it default to movie, music, or photo or calendar when you turn the device on if you have some media plugged in. So I think movie is the default. I always just plug my media in after it's already on. Once you've got it set up, you're not really going to be adjusting that, but you have that option. Video, you can adjust whether it's a full screen or the original size, 4:3, 16:9, pretty standard options there. Photos, same thing, you can do full screen, original size, and those are the only two options on that one. You can adjust the time and the alarm if you want to use it as an alarm. You can also set a power off and power on time, so you can have the frame automatically turn on in the morning and then turn off at night, which is a really awesome feature, so you don't have to waste battery with the frame when no one's out using it. And then there's a button to reset it to factory defaults. And that's all of the settings. It really is super simple and easy to operate. And like I said, if we just click menu to go back to the top here, like that, when you're ready to look at your pictures or your video or a movie, you click it, hit enter, slide over to whatever you want to look at, select a file to start with, hit enter, and you know, in a matter of seconds, there you go, you're away. It fills the whole screen and it just looks great. The last thing to talk about is the included remote. This is going to give you a lot of the same functionality that the controls on the back of the frame itself have, along with a few shortcut buttons. So you can click photo, music, or movie right from the remote without having to cycle through the menu. You can also adjust the volume if you're playing a file that has music or audio, and you can jump right to your calendar or skip through your photos like showing a slideshow with the remote. Overall, I think this $50 digital photo frame is a great product. This is going to be a gift to my mother because she loves pictures. She sends me so many pictures. And so if you're looking for a really giftable product, I've done tons of tech things on this channel, like headphones and speakers that you can give to people, but this is something that could be really sentimental. You could load it up with pictures for your family, for your friends, and give this to them, and they would have an awesome little keepsake. It doesn't take up much space, this 7-inch size. They could easily set this on a coffee table or the kitchen counter and just have, you know, an updatable bank of memories there to look at. If you want to pick one of these up, I'll put a link down in the description. You can buy through there and support the channel. I'll include a few different sizes so you can pick the one that best works for you. All in all though, I am very happy with this. 2 thumbs up for me. This is a great giftable product, and it's something you can have in your home to just have an ever-cycling, ever-changing bank of fun memories and fun photos in an easily accessible place. You know, we all have photos on our phone, we all have photos on our computer, but you know, it's nice to have them out in the open so you can just kind of look at them from time to time and you know, reminisce on the memories. Before you go, I'd love if you became a subscriber. If you weren't, there's always good tech reviews and overview videos coming out on this channel to help you find awesome products on Amazon for the best price. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.